Thanks for tuning in to You See Me, focusing on the battle of self-love, acceptance, abuse, spirituality, and much more. Your host, Tina Wynn, will be sharing various ways and strategies that she used to overcome grief, addiction, and depression. You See Me is a self-expressed term Tina uses as a way of making people see the real you. For people to see you, you must first see yourself.
Hi, guys, and welcome back to another episode of the You See Me podcast. I am your host, Mrs. Tina Wynn Bridges, and thank you guys for coming to see me. I have been seeing you guys. I hope you guys have been enjoying seeing yourselves. You guys can find me at useeme-tw.com. right here on the We Empowered Network, Saturdays at 4, and on all my other social media platforms. So guys, often I get presented with the question of how did I change? How did I get where I am at today in life? And I must admit, that question always stumps me. And the only answer that I can honestly give is the only way to change is to change. We often hear the saying, nothing changes if nothing changes. Doing the same thing, expecting different results, that's insanity to Tina. And I don't know what everyone else's definition of insanity is, but if you want different, you have to do different. And it's just that simple. Now, Quita ain't got the good sense that she was given by God sometimes. So when she show up, it's already an insane moment because she had to become present. So change for Quita didn't come as easy as it did for Tina. So guys, as I was at my thinking table, because y'all know that I love to think, that's what I do, really thinking, I asked myself the question again, Tina, how? What were the steps that you took to change? And if I had to give you guys a definitive answer, I became selfish, guys. I started focusing more on me and less on others. I started minding my own business. So I want to ask you guys, do you know how to mind your own business, or are you all caught up in other people's business? Because oftentimes we lose focus of what we have going on because we get too involved in what the person next to us has going on. And we could be dead in the middle of doing something critical or important for self. But let the phone ring and it's that person you know always got something juicy going on or just got something going on and you all over it. Never mind what you had going on. You don't completely put you aside so that you can jump all over it. And sometimes that's okay. Because all the time, guys, we as humans, we need a good person that we can genuinely call on, that is going to genuinely be there and connect with us. So that's not the type of being in people's business I'm referring to. If you guys remember in our assignments episode, we discussed each of us having a particular and specific tasks to fulfill our purpose in God. And in order to do so, we must see ourselves, guys. And not only what must we see ourselves, we must remain in ourselves to properly serve our positions as bodies of Christ. We must learn to be selfish with us and with what's in us. Because sometimes what we have in us is too important to allow other people in that space. And I call that minding my own business. So the question of the day, guys, is how does focusing on the problems and positions of others serve you a purpose? It doesn't. We have to develop a sense of selfishness, guys, a sense of selflessness with boundaries. Go review from episode 1, the boundaries episode, guys, when you have time. And be clear, Tina is a very empathetic person at heart. I care for the spirit of others, guys. However, y'all have to know spirit to even have the slightest idea of what it does to my spirit to see so many confused, lost, and tormented souls walking amongst me, because I got to live in this world with you guys, and they are completely blind, not a view in sight, in the dark, just going in circles. No idea of how to get out, and no idea of how they got in. Just lurking for innocent souls to come along and get dragged into their business, because that's what they do, guys. They need a host. They need someone that they can host that onto. So yes, I care for the spirit of others. I pray that we can all find our way one day. But until that day, we must pray and we must mind our own business. Because there was a time, guys, and let's be clear, there was a time that Quita was blind and lost, searching for souls to attach my foolery to, and I used to flesh feed. I had no clue of how to see or reach the spirit of others because I couldn't even identify my own spirit until I started minding my own business. I became selfish with Tina, which is what we're going to jump into. Learning to mind our own business so we don't flesh feed, but we spirit feed. Because we need spiritual food in this world to make it to Christ. And most often, when people start presenting you with their problems, or as I would call them, their positions in life, and you, because it's a choice, willingly choose to engage, choices, guys, they are presenting you with what the flesh is feeling, what the flesh is lacking, and what the flesh is desiring, which is help or sympathy most often. Or a better way to put it, they want you to feel what they're feeling with them. Join in on the emotion. Because as much as us would love to live in a world with human decency, that's just not the case. We don't. Nobody realistically wants to suffer alone, so they drag you in. And you willingly, unknowingly accept. We live in a selfish world, guys, and we must learn selflessness with selfishness is necessary, because there's a difference between a spiritual reach for help and a flesh reach for help. And not everybody looking for help really want help. However, you must know you to see spirit. That's why it is so important that we must see ourselves so we can be aware, always being aware of what's in our surroundings, guys, and be able to discern between the types of help you are providing and the types of help people are seeking. Test the spirit by the spirit. It's very simple.
Hey, how you guys doing? This is Regina Hutt, the wellness practitioner at Empower Mornings. Join me every Monday at noon to work out with Regina on One Network.
But there's always that but. How many times can you honestly say you involve yourself in someone else's business and it was a soulful experience and it wasn't a cry for help attached to fleshly circumstances or a handout? Because Tina had to learn not everybody is looking for a hand up. Some are simply in search of handouts. Tina loves helping people. I genuinely do. And giving them a hand up. Because I know what it is to have fingers all in, but no hands. I know what that feels like. Quita used to just jump to help folks. Their purpose or their position was never a factor to me. And there's a difference, guys. Tina had to learn the difference between people wanting soulful help, which is everlasting and going to put them in a position to not need help again, which is honestly all Tina has left to offer these days, soulful help. Not saying that they won't ever need help, but next time they will be in a better position with a better solution and in need of a different type of help. And that other type of help, the handout help, people wanting the help that's going to give them the illusion that what they chose, their choice to get themselves into don't really exist, or you helping get them out of what they got themselves into. Remember that confused state that we talked about, that we discussed when you shift away from your position? They want that do it for me help. Well, that's it. That's the help that I'm talking about. When Quita was out there just helping folks, that's exactly what I was doing, and that's exactly what they were in search of. I was shifting from my position to become a quick fix for the next person. I stopped minding my own business and got caught all up in the next person's business. I was a quick fixer. I was quick to jump on the bandwagon of sympathy. I pulled out the biggest heart I could find, and before you knew it, the Cupid in me was all caught up in someone else's business, a business that I knew nothing about. I had no idea of the mission of the business, because every business, guys, has a mission. And if we are not careful of what people's end objectives are, we find ourselves caught up. And sometimes the type of caught up that you get caught up in ain't the caught up that you want to get caught up in. And it ain't pretty. We don't know the values of the business, but we all in the business. What foundation is this built on? What's at the core of it? Is the infrastructure complete or being worked on? And with that, that involves, guys, knowing you. You got to really, really know you. You got to see you to be able to know what you're dealing with and who. You got to know where people are at in life, because not everybody in life is at the same place or able. Remember, abilities, able to handle some of the things that they get you caught up in. That's why they getting you caught up in it, because they wasn't able to handle it. In order to know what people can handle, you got to know you, because that's another problem we face when involved in other people's business. Sometimes we give too much of ourselves to a situation and don't allow the other person to give themselves or the situation anything. And Quita used to struggle bad with that. I had no clue how to mind my own business. I didn't see that I was doing more harm than good. I didn't see that I was only helping for my own selfish reasons and wasn't really helping at all, but enabling. I didn't see anything, but I heard everything. Be clear, when people involve you in their mess, they're going to fill it up real cute with some of the cutest sounds that your ears ever can handle and deliver it first class, all laid out on the cutest dish they could find. And when I was listening for that melody, that sympathy melody. I wasn't listening for spirit, because flesh was too tearful and sad looking. It outweighed the position I was in, and my purpose became to fix. I didn't focus on the why. And I stay away from the tearful stories now, because people will cry you a river, guys. They will cry you a river and ain't not one bit of soul in it. And I need to feel your spirit before I can extend any type of help, because sometimes we help people and we lose ourselves. I try my hardest to see the best in people, because I want for people to see me and see my best. But the reality of it, guys, is sometimes other people's best and your best just does not equal the best for either party involved. And we have to be accepting of that. Accept what you expect. You cannot go into a situation expecting one thing, and then when you don't get that result, you all over the place. And that's why you dragging people into your business, because you don't even know your own business. Hi guys, Mrs. Tina Wynn Bridges here, inviting you guys to join me for the Building Bridges workshops on my webpage at useeme-tw.com and on my Facebook group, You See Me with Quita Y /Building Bridges, and on the We Empowered Network. Thank you guys. Come let me help merge the water under your bridge. Thank you. And that's okay, because remember, we all serve different purposes in our positions. You have to know what's for you and what's not for you. And you do this by minding your own business. Now that Tina knows how to mind her business, because that took time, guys. Remember, you got to take time with yourself. That took time and self-discipline, knowing myself and knowing how to mind my business. I'm not caught up in frivolous things anymore, because all my actions are spirit-driven. I know how to offer free, friendly, godly advice without being all emotionally attached to situations that are none of my business. Just because you called for help don't mean I have to pull out my red cape and carpet and try to take over and be Miss Fix-It. I had a bad habit of trying to fix people. I wanted to fix their problems and heal their pain, but all I did was get them a tool to mask it. Because I was broken, and how a broke person gonna help fix another broke person? It just don't work. Feeding them temporarily helped. It temporarily helped. That's what I fed them. I fed them temporary help. I gave them money, a place to stay, clothes, watch their kids. But out of everything being done, nothing was done. It was a quick fix, and now I'm drained, and they off to involve the next person in their business. And I done did all this free labor for their business, and my business wasn't in order, because there was no spirit attached to the help or to me being in a business in the first place. If I was minding my business, which is what I do now, spirit directs me and orders me into knowing the help people are after. It lets me know how much to extend myself or not extend myself, when to take my hands off things and when to not even let my hands touch it at all. That is an intimate part of knowing self, guys, and knowing the Holy Spirit. We got to see ourselves, guys, and that takes time alone with God and time alone with yourself. So many people just don't know how to sit with self, and you're never going to see yourself if you don't know how to sit with yourself. You got to be real selfish and learn how to mind your business. We do not want to walk around all caught up in business that wasn't meant for our purpose. So I'm going to offer y'all some tips, guys. Yep, I'm going to give y'all some free tips that Tina used to keep Quita out of other people's business. Because Quita, that Quita was a piece of work, y'all. She would be all over it and ain't have a clue what was going on. You know the saying, all in the mix and don't know the flavor? That was Quita. All up in everybody's business and had no clue how to mind my own. So tip number one, how to mind your own business, guys. Get you some sleep. Take your butt to bed at a decent hour. Roll around, snot, snore, whatever it is that you do when you do, but let your mind rest. There are 24 hours in a day, and some of us are up letting our brains just go a mile a minute. Just letting our brains just go and go, thought after thought, action after action, and we just never stop. You have to rest, guys. Seeing how any and everything starts in the mind, we must let our brains rest. And, as Regina Hutt always says, shout out to Regina Hutt from Empowered Morning. She has the Uniquely Gorgeous show. If the mind is sick, the body is sick. Everything starts in your mind. We got to protect our mind by protecting what we think and letting it not think sometimes. Truly meditating with God, silencing all our thoughts and truly embracing God's presence. Tip number 2, take breaks. Some of us are always so busy doing this and so busy doing that we easily get caught up in other people's business without knowing, because we're doing too much. We don't even know that we all caught up in other people's business because we done embraced it and incorporated it into our own. We think we must tackle everything that comes our way without saying no. Well, saying no serves you and gives you a break. And it allows you time for you. When you take a break, you get a time for you to sit with you. And last tip that I'm going to give y'all, and this one I believe is the most critical of them all. Limit your social time. Some of us spend way too much time with and around folk that's not even necessary. And that's all we know how to do, is mind other people's business. And their business has become our business. You ever met that person who always have to have somebody around them? You never see them alone? We have to learn how to limit. Yes, we were put here to be sociable creatures, but we have to limit our sociability sometimes and allow ourselves time with self. Because sometimes we all up in other people's business and we have no clue what a business plan of our own would even look like. We have no clue. Or maybe having our own business plan ain't even a part of the plan because we too scared to stand alone, to be alone, and don't know how to stand or be alone. All we know how to do is be codependent. Because in case y'all didn't know, when we start minding other people's business, that is a form of codependency. Anytime that you deflect from yourself and you start to reflect on what's going on with the next person, you already messed up. You're not minding your business. There are people and spirits out there that need an ear, and you have 2 to give them. We must learn to stand alone before we can walk with others, guys. You can't do for somebody what you are not able or capable of giving yourself. It just don't work that way. But here we come with our crutches, and then when we want to run, we got this person on crutches that we provided slowing us up. They slowing you down because a person on crutches can't run. And then you start feeling guilty for wanting to run because you got this person with these crutches that can't run. And you feel guilty for leaving them behind when you put them in that position instead of minding your own business and playing your position. Everybody is not going where you're going. And remember, we mess the entire body of Christ up when we shift positions and start trying to be more than what we were sent for. We must mind our business first before we can attend to the business of anybody else. Why do you think when a plane is going down, they tell you to put your mask on first? Because if you can't breathe and you not right for you, how you finna help me breathe and get me right? We must learn, folks, to mind our business. So I'm going to go over those 3 tips with you guys again. Number 1, we're going to get some rest. Number 2, we're going to take a break, which is part of getting some rest. And part of taking that break, we're going to limit the amount of people that we socialize with on a daily basis. Because sometimes you can be in the happiest mood ever, and here come this person calling your phone or knocking on your door, sending you a text or email, and then next thing you know, your mood is all thrown off and your day is all because you all emotionally caught up in someone else's business. So I want you guys to learn how to mind your own business, and you do that by spending time with yourself and seeing yourself. So I want you guys to go out this week and learn how to mind your business. Spend some time with you. Spend some time seeing you before you can ever spend time seeing others. And once you finish seeing you, I want you guys to take a moment to come back and see me. Thank you for joining me. Until next time.